Hello friends, today we are going to describe the program to find the factorial of a number, and for that we have used the concept of the functions, user defined functions. So we have implemented the user defined function to find the factorial, as I have already discussed in the previous videos, that how to find the factorial of a number. The same logic is to be implemented in this program, but in a manner which is a bit different from the manner we have discussed before. That is, we are going to use the concept of user defined functions. So I have written the code in that fashion. Hash include stdio.h is the file inclusion directive, is the preprocessor directive which includes the stdio.h header file. Then comes the function prototype. So this is the function prototype. Int is the return type, factorial is the name of the function which conforms to the operation which we are going to perform. It can be x, y, z, anything, but something which is similar to the operation should be given as the name of the function. So that is recommended. So this int factorial is the name of the user defined function, and this is the data type of the argument to be supplied in the function. So after that, I have written the int main. We have declared two variables, n and fact. We have given a prompt to the user to enter a value. Then the user entered a value n, and after that we have written the line where the function is called from the calling module. So that function factorial is being called in this line with the argument n, and this argument is called the actual argument. This argument is called the actual argument, and this n value is supplied as the actual argument, and whatever the function is going to return, this factorial function is going to return, will be assigned into the variable fact, and that fact will be then checked for if the value is equals to 0. If fact equals 0, then we will print invalid input. That is some logic we have implemented over in the function. We have implemented some logic in the function. In order to make you understand, I have to go to the function body or the function definition in order to make you understand what is the logic behind this. But for the time being, I am just going to read out the line. If fact equals 0, printf invalid input, else printf the factorial is %d fact return 0 and closing brace. Then comes the function definition portion, and in this function definition portion, this is the return type, this is the name of the function, this is the argument with the data type, and this argument, this x, is called the formal argument. So whatever is the actual argument, whatever is the value of the actual argument, n, will be copied in this formal argument, and please don't mix them, because n and x are totally different variables, because they are local to the scope of the function in which they are defined. So then in this n, the value of n will be copied into the variable x, which is the formal argument, and this x will act as the number which is supplied by the user in this function definition. Int I f is equal to 1. This is the loop variable, iteration variable. This is the variable which will hold the value of the factorial, which will be returned to the calling module to be stored in the variable fact in order to get the output from the program. So this we have implemented a logic like this. If x less than 0, that is, if any user specifies a negative value for which we will not be able to determine the factorial, because negative numbers do not have factorial, because it can't be determined. Since it can't be determined, we have returned 0 in case of numbers which are supplied to be negative numbers, that is numbers which are less than 0. Then after that we have implemented an if-else-if ladder to implement the logic. So this else-if contains two conditions separated by a logical OR. That is, if x equals 0 or x equals 1, that is, if the user gives the value of n to be 0 or n to be 1, So in both the cases we know that the factorial of 0 is always 1 and factorial of 1 is also 1. So that concept is being applied over here in order to return this 1 as the result of the factorial. That is, if x equals 0 or x equals 1, if either of them holds, we will return 1 in either of the cases. So in that case 1 will be returned and assigned into the fact. Then we come to the last portion, that is the last segment, that is the else block, in which we will deal with numbers. All numbers should be starting from 2 and onwards, because we have dealt with the numbers, negative numbers and the numbers 0 and 1 previously, and now we will deal with the numbers which are starting from 2 and onwards. Now this suppose the user has given a value of 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, we are going to implement this loop. For I is equal to 2, that is, I will be initialized to 2 and it will be checked. While it is less than equal to x, the iteration process will go on. Then we will increment I by 1, and then we calculate in this fashion, f is equal to f star I. This will calculate the factorial of the number. Then in this way, when we go outside the loop after the iteration is after the iterations are over, then we are going to return the value of f to the calling module, that is in the int main section, that is the fact which will hold the value of this f, in order to get us in order to let us see what is the result, or what is the factorial of the number specified by the user. So this f will be returned and will be assigned into fact. It will be assigned into fact. So after that we will print the fact value from this else portion, because if it is not 0, then we will definitely go to the else portion to print the factorial is %d or fact, %d fact, that is, the fact will be going to be printed in this %d, in the position of the %d. So after that, return 0 and end of the main section. So this is the main section and this is the function definition. And now, in order to make you understand the details of the program, how the program control flows from the main to the function and from the function to the main, and gets us to print the output of the program, we will put some sample values in the program in order to show you a dry run, in order to make you understand the logic. So let's start with the dry run. So in this dry run, let us consider, for the sake of simplicity, if any user gives the value n is equal to 3 or something like that. So in that case, n will be 3 and fact is, and in this line, fact is equal to factorial n will call the function with the actual argument n, that is, the actual argument will be 3 over here, and the program control passes from this portion to this portion directly, and we see that this formal argument will also will also have the same value as the value of n, that is, x will also become 3, because x is nothing but the copy of the actual argument n. So here f is equal to 1. Now let's see this if else if ladder sequence. If x is less than 0, our number is definitely not less than 0, it is 3. So we will skip this portion, go to this portion and see whether it is x value is 0 or 1. It is not 0 or 1, as we can see that x value is 3. So we go to this else block now and start the iteration process. For I is equal to 2, for I is equal to 2 less than equal to x, that is definitely x is 3 and 2 is less than equal to 3. So the condition holds and we calculate the f value in this manner. F is equal to, previously f was 1 and 1 star I means 1 star 2 means 2. So f contains a value of 2 now. I will be incremented by 1. It will become 3 less than equal to 3, correct, and we get inside the loop for the second time, and f will be calculated as 2 is the last value of f, 2 star I value is 3, then we get 6, as the value of f, and then we are going to increment I by 1 again 4 to see that 4 is not less than equal to 3. Condition doesn't hold, we get out of the loop and return f, and whatever is the whatever value the f held after the last iteration was done is 6. So we are going to return 6 to the calling module to be assigned in the variable fact, and this fact will contain 6. So this is definitely, fact is not definitely equal to 0. It will go to this else portion. Program control goes to this else portion to print the factorial is, fact means the factorial is 6. So the output will be 6, and our calculation, our sample value given after giving the sample values and the dry run procedure, we got the result as 6, and in the dry run the result is 6, and in the output we get the value as 6. So let us see that whether this the value of the dry run which we expect to be coming out of this program as an output is actually the value of 3 factorial, because we are calculating 3 factorial. Now see, 3 factorial is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3, 1 star 2 star 3, or 3 star 2 star 1. The mathematical logic of the 3 factorial will be like this: 1 into 2 into 3, or 3 into 2 into 1, whatever. The result will yield the value 6. So the dry run yielded an output of 6, and the mathematical result is also 6. So these two results tally with each other. So we can conclude that the program is quite correct and is ready to be run on the computer system. So if you have any doubts or queries pertaining to this program, you can well post your doubts or queries in the comment section so that I can address them. Thanks.